been talking before on the show about there seems to be two different Erika Kirks. There's one that wanted like this pageant, modeling, acting, entertainment career, wanted to, in some way, shape, or form, be in the spotlight, was a working woman. And then there is the one that was represented with Charlie Kirk, where she said that she's this traditional wife, which we've also pointed out in the show is also not true. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just keep it real. We don't really know who Erika is at this point in time. But now it has been brought to my attention that apparently Erika Kirk also tried to be a politician. I mean, it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Let's go ahead and bring this in here. Shout out to this guy's name is Danks. He dropped the bombshell on this one, you guys, and someone sent it to me. So we got to get into the nitty gritty here. Listen to this.
Just wanted to work at Turning Point. The one that maybe had a real estate license, did some entrepreneur stuff, was in the entertainment industry. That is not who she is. She already ran for the GOP Republican committeeman position in Sutton, Arizona in 2020, 9 months before Charlie Kirk married her. She was already at Turning Point USA. She was already getting involved in all of the things that he was up to. So why is this document that I'm about to show you being hid or not discussed? Why is she running for a political committeeman position for the grand old party when she is supposedly having nothing to do with politics? She has nothing to do with the military. She has nothing to do with any of this stuff. Now, her being in charge of Turning Point makes complete sense. And quite frankly, it pisses me off. It absolutely infuriates me. This should infuriate you too. I want you to take a good, hard look at this document right here. Okay? Look at it very carefully. It says, August primary election canvass. August 4th, 2020, Maricopa Elections Department. County of Maricopa, Office of the Clerk, Board of Supervisors. So Republican Precinct Committeeman, Sutton Precinct is what she ran for. So there was 7 candidates. There's a vote for 7. The Republican Precinct Committeeman in Sutton, Republican Party. So it shows times casted, undervotes, overvotes, all the names of the candidates. And then you've got Erika Lane Francevy, a write-in vote, 1 vote. The rest of them pulled 215, 204, 208, 209, 211, 194, 212. What is this, man? Are you serious? Why would you have 1 vote? And then if you look down here, you can see Sutton County, election-wide, Sutton County, Erika Lane Francevy, qualified write-in, 1 vote. So when we're looking at this write-in section of total of 1 vote, 0.07%, 1 vote out of 391 ballots cast in that contest, that is.
Which would mean that she allegedly wrote her name in. It's like, what is happening here? Who is this person? So again, another example of her showing trying to be something else or do something else. And so ultimately, it seems like at this point, she was interested in going into politics. So I guess she figured, well, that didn't work. So I can marry someone who I know is going to go into politics and I'll be on his arm. Who does that remind you of? It reminds me of Hillary Clinton. We all know the story of Hill and Bill. We all know when people say, oh, well, Bill cheated on Hillary with Monica Lewinsky. We all know that Bill was cheating on Hillary before they got married. Come on. But Hill knew that he was going places. And Hillary knew that maybe that could help her go some places too. Convenience factor. We're going to get into the video of how Erika and Charlie met, the video that they did together, where they talk about how they met, and it reveals some things on Erika's part. But I told you, everything we didn't showed you before, she tends to latch herself onto people that it looks like they're going somewhere. Whether it was the minor league baseball player, whether it was, I think that was JT, and then there was also Cabot Phillips. She's attaching herself to people that look like they are going somewhere.
The current CEO of Turning Point USA. This is page 2,355 out of 2,387 pages of this document. No wonder it took somebody so long to find it. Thank you to Badger and my community for bringing this to my awareness. That's why community works together. This is so outrageous. Most people have never even heard of a precinct committeeman, and that's by design because it's the most powerful position in politics. That's why nobody talks about it. Precinct committeemen are the root access of the Republican Party. They're the foundation. Every decision that flows upwards through the party hierarchy at the PC level that's it. I mean, it literally flows up from the PC level. PCs elect legislative district chairs. LD chairs elect county chairs. County chairs elect state leadership. State leadership feeds the national committee. In Arizona and Maricopa County, 444,604 Republican ballots were cast in this same August 2020 primary. This is the single most consequential GOP apparatus in a swing state. Whoever controls the precinct committeeman network literally controls the party from the ground up. And even if you lose a PC race, just filing this right here gives you official standing with the Republican Party.
So does everyone notice? This is an important part, how these positions that may seem to be minor, you may think that they don't really have any power. They can't really do anything. It goes to show you how some of these minor positions actually do matter and have an impact. I said the same thing about city council. City council control the budget. So while people kind of may just look at city councilors and go, oh, you're just a city councilor, these are the people that are controlling the budget in your city. So you probably should know who they are, right? Good find on this one, though.
Access to party meetings, access to convention votes, access to precinct level voter data, a political record that exists in a certified government documentation. Filing for a PC is how you plant a flag in the party machinery. It's how you create credentials even with one vote. So why Erika Lane Fronsvy? Who is she? At the time of this filing in August of 2020, it was August 4th, I think it was 2020, Erika Fronsvy had already been dating Charlie Kirk for nearly 2 years, if not over. Tyler Bowyer, the COO at the time of Turning Point USA, introduced them at Bill's Burgers in New York City. I mean, I've heard a lot of different introductory stories. All I know is they met in 2018. I don't know what one is true, where and who they were with, all these different stories. I don't know, because nothing is adding up anymore. Bowyer has confirmed that on Fox News, but then we've heard they met at something else. I mean, I thought that she went in for an interview. So I don't understand what is going on here. Why everybody is lying about Erika Kirk. All of a sudden, the whole Turning Point is flipped upside down on their head. They lost all their trust, all their honesty, all the truth has just left their tongue. So I need you to think about this. Really think about it. Why? Erika Kirk already inside Turning Point. Why is she filing for a precinct committeeman position as Maricopa County? Why is she doing that? She's not campaigning. She's not knocking any doors. She didn't knock a single door. She got one vote. It was probably her own vote. 7 established candidates are pulling 190 plus votes, up over 200. Erika gets one vote. She's not doing anything to actually substantiate a purpose of being inside of this race. This campaign is not what she was intending to win at all. She's creating a political record. She's establishing independent credentials in the Republican apparatus, and she's doing it under the Fronsvy name. She did it 9 months before she married Charlie Kirk.
Under her old name, right? So before they got married. And that just makes you wonder again. So if she was going into this trad wife role or whatever, why would she even do that? Like what was happening here?
I guess she got married, I think it was May of 2021. This is the defense contractor's name. Think about that. How about that? Lori Fronsvy's last name. She's creating a political record 9 months before she marries Charlie Kirk on May 8th of 2021. Why would someone already inside Turning Point USA need their own independent credentials in the Republican Party machinery? Because there's one person in Erika's orbit who would know exactly why that filing matters, why being in this position actually matters. There's only one that I can see so far, Tyler Bowyer. Boyer's own bio confirms that he has served as a Republican precinct committeeman, legislative district chairman, congressional advisory chairman. He chaired the Republican Party of Chandler, Sun Lakes, and Gilbert, Arizona. Then he chaired the Maricopa County Republican Committee in 2014. So then he's become an RNC National Committeeman for Arizona as well, and then COO of Turning Point USA. He also sat on the Arizona Board of Regents. His own bio has confirmed it. The man who built his entire political legacy, his empire, I wouldn't call it a legacy. That's far from there. But his entire empire, I guess you could say, or what he's trying to build, he has already done it. So I'm going to ask a question. I'm not going to make an accusation, but I will ask a question. I'm asking you, actually, I want to ask Erika, who taught you about this play right here? Because if it wasn't your mother, was it Charlie? And why would you do it before he got married to you? Did he even know about it? To be honest, I don't know if he knew. Maybe he did. But then why would he hide it? What else were you doing, actually? Were you doing more political campaigning or low-key documentation of you being in the system?
So this is a very good question, and this is something we need to find out. Lala said, was this after Erika was proposed to? I think that's the big question, right? Because if she did this after she was proposed to, it's like, oh, whoa, what are you doing? Like, what is happening here? Why would you even go that route if you're supposed to be going into this like trad wife like role or whatever? So that's a good question. It could have happened before she was proposed to. But still, it's weird. It seems like to me she was trying to position herself, to this gentleman's point, in this type of political space so that she could carve out a political lane for herself. I mean, from what we've seen, Erika at one point wanted to be a model. She was a pageant girl. She wanted to do The Amazing Race. She was in music videos. She was a real estate agent. And again, there's nothing wrong with doing different things. But when you portray yourself to be this trad wife and you're out here lecturing women saying you better start this early and da-da-da, it doesn't even look like that was what you wanted to do. It doesn't even look like Erika wanted to be a traditional wife. It looks like Erika wanted to be a star. Like I said, we revealed recently on the show that Erika, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Ben Shapiro were supposed to film a movie together. That don't sound trad wife to me. It just sounds like you just wanted to be a star. And if that's what it is, then just say that. But she literally out here acting like she just sitting at home with the kids, making food, being Susie Homemaker, when she has multiple businesses and she still has the real estate. So it's just wild. So let's go look at the video that both of them are on, because I do want to show you the story of what they said about how they met. And I just listen to some things here. Pay attention.
I met Erika for the first time at this office, Turning Point USA office.
So we met at the office opening, the Turning Point headquarters office opening, the first one, August 2018. And I had no idea what to expect because I was coming into the office from the standpoint of they were potentially going to hire me.
And I knew of Erika, I saw Erika, and we had a very brief meeting at the office. And then I had my first conversation with Erika.
He'll tell it differently, so I'll tell you from my side. I was in the Hamptons. I get a random DM on my phone. I have zero service when I'm out there, and all of a sudden this DM flashes up and it's like, Charlie Kirk DM'd you. Because it's so Charlie. August 31st, 2018. Hey, shoot me a text at, and gave me his number. I didn't respond for a few days.
I Instagram messaged her and said I urgently needed to meet with her. And she said, why? And it was partially a job interview and also partially something else.
So when I eventually messaged him back via text, I was like, hey, nice to officially meet you again. What did you want to talk about? Because it was so just random. And he was like, hey, I'm coming into town into New York City. Let's meet at Bill's Burgers. Mind you, I've lived in Manhattan now for about 5 years. I've never eaten at Bill's Burgers before. So that I guess was a sign like, let's take an adventure tonight for dinner and go find Bill's Burgers and meet your future husband that you have no idea is about to be your future husband.
And so then we had a great time, and it was about 15 minutes in, I quickly pivoted away from wanting to hire her to wanting to date her. And now we know how that worked quite well.
He got there first.
And who was the one that suggested, who recommended her for the interview? Wasn't it said that Tyler Bowyer was the one who did that? Okay.
Only because he was coming back from Fox and he kind of beat me there. And I got out of my taxi and we get our table, we sit down, and he orders. The thing that I love though is he was so sweet to the waitress. So that was something that I immediately noticed, that he was like really kind to them. And we ordered our food, and then that's when the grilling started happening. Like that's when the interview process started happening. So I'm like, okay, this is a legit interview. Like let's go. I'm glad I had my coffee. Like I'm ready to debate you about Aristotle and Socrates, and you want to talk about theology? Let's do it.
Well, I'd never met anyone quite like her. I remember I called Tyler and I said he's going to have to find talent somewhere else. And whatever opening he thought she would fill, that was not going to work. And Tyler was trying to coach me down because he said that she was way out of my league. He's still right, by the way.
So after we got through literally
So you hear the Tyler part, right? So it's just interesting.
half of the Constitution, going through why I'm living in New York and how I shouldn't be living in New York, and what my 5-year plan is, what success looks like to me, what I studied in college, why, just like every topic you could imagine that is close to Charlie Kirk's heart is what we discussed and went through. When it was like 3.5 hours, and they were starting to close up, and he was finished with his burger, just sat there, and I'm like looking around like, okay, did I get the job? Like, what's going on? I don't need the job, but did I get it? What's going on? And he goes, I'm not going to hire you. It's like, okay, well, thank goodness I didn't need the job because I'm already doing stuff here in Manhattan. He goes, I'm going to date you.
Pause. That part right there, I wanted you to hear. There's another part coming up I want you to hear. She said, thank goodness that she did not need the job. She did not need the job, she says. She was already doing other things in New York. So why did she apply for this job again? I just think that's important. She said she already had other things going on in New York. So why did she apply for this job? Let's continue.
And I kind of just stood. I froze. I mean, wouldn't you? I literally froze. I was just like, okay, was not expecting this at all. And I was like, do you want to how about we just be friends first? Like, see where it goes.
And I told her I had enough friends and that I didn't want to be friends with her. So that was kind of a non-starter. But if she wanted to date, that would be great. I had enough friends. And I think she still finds that to be very funny, but I meant it.
And without hesitation and like zero hesitation, he goes, I have enough friends in my life. So either we're going to date or we're not. Do I have any time to think about it? Yeah, you have until tomorrow night when I take you out for dinner. And then you can give me your answer at dinner tomorrow night. But know that the offer's on the table and I want to date you. Okay. So then afterwards, it was like, thank you for this meeting. I need to go walk home now so I can process what happened. And I literally remember walking home from like 54th and 5th all the way to 30th and Madison to just kind of process what just happened.
To process what just happened. Right? So this part.
And I remember calling my mom. I was like, hey, she's like, hey, how are you? What's going on? How did it go? And I was like, well, I didn't get the job. She's like, oh, that's okay. I was like, but I got a boyfriend. And she's like, oh, that's nice.
She got a boyfriend. So she told her mom she got a boyfriend, according to her. But at that time, she said she was just walking and still processing things. And so let me be honest. I don't think that she was as interested. I'm a woman. I'm saying this as a woman. Guys, don't take offense. I don't think that she was as interested. Like, it kind of reminds me of like the women. Well, no, let's go back to the club. It kind of reminds me as like back in the days, like when we used to go clubbing and I was an undergrad. And if there was a guy that would come up to like, one of my friends and say, hey, can I get your number? Can we go out? Da da da. Let's go kick it or whatever, like that type of thing. And my friend would say, oh, I can't do Friday because I got an exam that morning. Okay, well, what about the next Friday? Why? Well, I don't know if that's going to be good for me either because I really got to study, or give me some time to think about it. That means you're not really interested. There was a movie called She's Just Not That Into You. And yeah, I don't think that he was her type based on what we saw before of her previous relationships. I don't think she was as interested in him as he was, as interested in her. And I hope that doesn't come off, harshly, but that's just what I'm picking. That's just what my woman vibe is picking up here, that she just wasn't as interested. And she went to that job interview and she said that she didn't need the job. She already had things going on in New York. This is why I believe she was sent there. I believe she was sent. And, it is what it is. And now you find out that apparently she was trying to make a political lane for herself right before she got married. But this was during the time when they were still dating. And it does also bring up that question, like maybe even at that point in time, maybe he was starting to wonder, or maybe she was starting to wonder if this was the right move for her. And then he proposed. So you may never know, but that's really weird. But considering her family background, considering her family connection with defense in Israel and all these types of things, like this would actually make some sense. We might go a little bit deeper into this Tuesday evening. I have more information that was also just sent to me, also about some other family connections, which is really weird. But the thing is, I think that, again, I think she wanted a path for herself, even if that was political, even if she went into politics. And it seems like she was trying to go down that lane. Then she gets married to Charlie Kirk, and then Charlie Kirk is predicted to be someone who's going to, I guess, eventually try to become president of the United States. And then I guess she figured, well, I guess I can ride this wave too, because then I could be first lady, and then I'll also still be a star. When you put all the pieces together, it just seems like all roads for Erika seem to lead towards some type of stardom or some type of fame. Because usually people don't. And when you're looking for a job, and many of you have been through the job hunting process, a lot of times, like if you already like what you're doing and what you got going on, a lot of times you're not looking for another job when you don't need one that would also require you to move, right? So what was she really doing there? I don't know. Right? So think about those things. Scholar said people who want to be famous for fame's sake and not tied to a skill like acting, singing, etc. are the worst. Yeah. Jonas said Charlie had some game. Now listen to this, because I think this woman did such an amazing job summing this all up. Spot on, Elizabeth Lane. I'm going to be blunt. I've reached the point where I find Erika Kirk deeply disturbing, not because of rumors or gossip, but because of the consistent observable patterns of behavior. To be clear, everything I say in this post is my opinion. I'm not claiming this is a fact. I'm saying this is what I think Erika Kirk is. I come from the world of acting and modeling. I've spent years around social climbers, opportunists, image curators, and people who treat relationships as ladders. That is why I left that world. Most of these people are shallow and harmless. A few are dangerous. Erika falls into the latter category not because she is ambitious, but because of how calculated and performative her ambition appears to be. I believe she may be a psychopath. I wanted to laugh at that part as well, but what stands out immediately is the reaction she provokes in people, which is very common with psychopaths across the board, including from people who support her publicly. The private reaction is the same. I can't watch her. Not criticism, just physical discomfort. People turn off interviews because the presentation feels artificial to the point of being unbearable. Let me explain. That kind of response does not happen accidentally, and it does not happen often. Research in psychology shows that humans are highly sensitive to emotional incongruence, mismatches between facial expression, tone, and content. When affect appears simulated rather than genuine, the brain registers it as a threat signal. This activates discomfort and avoidance, even if the person cannot consciously explain why. So many of us felt this way, but we could not explain why we could not watch her. Studies on psychopathy, particularly those building on the work of psychologists like Robert Hare, describe traits such as rehearsed emotional display and shallow affect. These traits can create what observers experience as uncanny interpersonal dynamic. The discomfort arises and people want to shut it off because most people rarely encounter extreme affective mimicry in everyday life. So the brain, it struggles to categorize what it is detecting. Erika is attractive enough, and she had every tool in her position to sell this organically, except for one thing: emotion. The entire story of what happened could have helped her sell this fully. She really would have been the last person on earth to be a suspect, if not for the FBI's terrible mistakes, TPUSA's lies, and her very fake performance. Plenty of attractive, ambitious women move through media spaces without triggering that response, even though we know what they are. This is about something else, an extreme disconnect between presentation she puts out and perceived authenticity. Erika is not the archetype of a model actress seeking money and fame and then settling into a quiet life with a wealthy, good-looking husband. She's the wolf type who wants to be in the place of that husband. She is not born for a supporting role. She's a decision maker type. She appears to pursue proximity to power, moving fluidly between television, nonprofits, branding opportunities, and ideological spaces that maximize exposure. Her previous partners are guys women like her would date: muscular, jacked, good looking. Even though they are not people with huge potential, they are all somewhat established. They are good stepping stones until the right person shows up. Not looking at her previous partners, I'd say Charlie probably was not her type visually, but he was exactly what she was looking for in a man: potential to be a great power. What Erika was looking for is the same thing Hillary Clinton was looking for when she met Bill. This is exactly what I thought. She recognized that Bill Clinton was her ticket to power, the power she could control, and she was right. She realized she could create a brand out of him and herself, and they're still a brand. The Clintons. This is true. Let's fast forward. Erika saw the brand with Charlie. She also saw Charlie could one day become president of the United States if he wanted to. Charlie had the ear of the most powerful segment of any society: students. He was going to be a very important player in politics, and she was not missing that ride. What's striking is how completely her public identity reshapes itself after that relationship begins. The aesthetic, the tone, the values, the presentation all change. Overnight, the persona shifts into the role that best fits Charlie's world: devoted Christian, modest, supportive housewife. That kind of rapid adaptation is quite impressive for a usual person, but not for a psychopath. They do it all the time. I knew a girl when I was in college. It seemed like every guy that she dated, she would change herself for them, right? Like if they liked basketball, all of a sudden she liked basketball, even though she didn't like basketball, right? Molding themselves into what this person would want them to be. This is why you really got to know yourself, right? In my head, the story goes like this. For a moment, it works. She becomes the wife of a rising political figure with access to donors, institutions, and national platforms. At that point, the ceiling isn't social media influence. It's empire building, foundations, global tech, a legacy brand, Kirk's. It's obvious that Charlie listens to her, whether it's about donors or the trajectory of Turning Point USA. The most influential figure in any mentally healthy man's life is his wife. She is going to be the biggest influence, and that's just how it is. That is why you need to pick your partner wisely. Everything was going well until Charlie makes decisions based on conscience rather than expansion and money. Oh, girl, you never lied. This is true. Expansion and money. He turns down money. He refuses to play dirty tricks. I'm assuming someone like Erika, who married into this because she had a vision for this brand, would not be very happy. Would not be very happy that the life she appears to have signed up for, power couple, expanding influence, historical relevance, was collapsing into something else entirely. Yeah. Domesticity, housewife, kids, and now Charlie's refusing to accept the money that can make him a global power. A supporting role instead of center stage is not her thing. That's the important part. And you can tell that. The Erika that we saw in the videos with the ex-boyfriends, that Erika looks very happy. And ideally, I believe it. I do not think she is meant to be in a supporting role. But she was willing to play it because she saw that Charlie was probably going places, like president of the United States. And she was willing to be, hey, I could be first lady. Right? Her husband died a few days ago when she walks onto the stage as if she was born there. Comes naturally to her. She knows it and she wants it. Just days after her husband's death, she was already laying out ambitious plans for the company over Zoom. It's obvious she was always deeply involved in the business and knew exactly where to pick up when her turn came. What people struggle to watch, what makes the screen unbearable, is not grief. It's the absence of emotional continuity. Performances can be learned. Trust me, as a former actress, I can speak to that. But emotion can't be improvised or mimicked if you never experienced it. That's why I think we are dealing with a psychopath who has never really experienced these emotions and does not know how to play them. And audiences feel it instantly. It's fake. Again, just my opinion. This isn't an accusation of crime. I'm not claiming this is what happened and it's a fact. It's an analysis I made after watching her long enough. And quite honestly, I'm sick of this shit. I think she hit the nail on the head there. And that's why when people are seeing more and more about Erika's past, that's why people, are kind of like taken aback, because that wasn't the role that people saw her play as Charlie's wife. People can adapt to whatever role they need to adapt to, especially if they had experience doing it. But it was very obvious to me after seeing that video from that gentleman there that at some point, it seemed like near 2020, she was trying to carve out a political lane for herself. So this is not a supportive role person. This is a center stage woman, and I think that she has fooled a lot of people. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.